Alright folks, welcome to a game of Warhammer Fantasy with Bromance WarGaming. It is Dallas with his Lizardmen, which you can't see at the moment because I'm looking at Matt. And Matt with his Orcs and Goblins. Hey That's Matt, right. How's it going?
It's going well, sir. You want me to talk about it or you want to talk about it?
Yeah, go for it.
We decided we're doing a little get-together. We've got about 6. Oh, this is Casca. She wants to say hi, apparently. Wave at the camera. Hi! Get down. You're not going to be on TV like Daddy. If we're doing a little get-together in December.
Yep.
After, hopefully, I take my LSAT test.
And you pass it?
And I pass it. Well, definitely after I take the LSAT. They already took my money. But hopefully after I pass it like a boss. And I decided, since I'm kind of running it at the house here, that I'm going to try some comp. So we went with the Swedish comp system, which rates you from 0 to 20 based on what you take. Most everything is negatives. If you take, my first chariot here is like a 5 or 6, I think, and this one is like a 7 or an 8. And you start with 300 points and you just count down and divide by 10 or whatever. So my army is comped at an 11.1. I actually am not sure if I'm supposed to leave the decimals in, but whatever, I'm at an 11.1. So I'll go over the list here. Got 5 Wolf Riders with spears. I have Boron, my Ragnarok Spider. I have 40 Orc Big Boss with spears and shields. The spears are a concession to comp. They're a little bit less comped than the additional hand weapons. Also note, these guys are over here. They don't fit under Boron's legs. My general is right here. He has light armor and no special weapon. Or he has a magical weapon.
I did not know that.
But he doesn't have a shield because I also have my another Orc Warboss with the wizarding hat, who I can't put right here by the forest, so he's hanging out with these Night Goblins. This one is my general, though. And then I have a level 4 Night Goblin Shaman. And so this is exactly 625 points, which is my allotment for Lords, which is why Homeboy can't have a shield. We've got 2 single Trolls, which aren't comped terribly. Trolls are not actually that bad. My Rock Lobber, and my 1 Doom Diver, which are comped pretty badly. 40 Night Goblins, which aren't terrible. After 40, they start getting a little more ridiculous. I just needed the points, so I left him at 40 essentially. This is my Orc Big Boss BSB. He has heavy armor and a great weapon. This is a chariot that I couldn't find a place to put anywhere else, and was supposed to be out of 6 inches, and is not now that I've placed him. But whatever. My goal was to not get shot on the first turn and have these things flee. Luckily, well. Then I have 27 squigs, and 10 handlers. They're not bad. That's like minus 30 points or something. The other chariot and another unit of wolf riders with spears. My wizarding hat guy, who I forgot to roll stupidity for, Dallas.
I cannot believe you did that.
I'm such a terrible friend. Nope, here's the reroll.
Uh-oh, he's gonna be stupid.
No, there we go.
Darn.
That was actually really scary for a second. He got Lore Fire. I got Flame Storm and Piercing Bolts of Burning, both of which were not what I wanted. So I kept Flame Storm just because a template hitting stuff may be good, and I took Fireball because it's never bad. Yeah, that's my list.
And you're level 4.
Yeah. He got all of the good spells. He got Vindictive Glare, Gift of the Spider God, Itchy Nuisance, and Gork Will Fix It. After much deliberation, I dropped Vindictive Glare for Sneaky Stabbing. If you watched my slideshow report, I don't think actually I reported that one. Anyway, I played a game with Chris last week, and Sneaky Stabbing essentially won me a game. So if I can get a flank in, sometimes I fail. Sometimes my dice fail me, so Sneaky Stabbing is actually a really nice net, especially at a 6+ to cast. So I went ahead and took it, and I figured I've got Fireball for all my magic missiling needs. Now, realistically, I probably should have kept Vindictive Glare to magic missile off all of the chaff, but I really wanted Sneaky Stabbing. Maybe that was a bad idea, but whatever.
All right, and while we're going through it, why don't you give a rundown of the terrain while we're.
Oh yeah, this is an ordinary forest.
Yep.
Which we rolled for. This is an altar of Cain. Everything within 6 inches has frenzy, which is awesome. This is a haunted mansion, which I forgot when I deployed stuff, but that's all right. So these Wolf Riders really should have vanguarded. We already rolled for first turn, so they can't. This is a regular building. Excuse me, it's 2 stories. This is a scree slope. The big building in the middle is what, a Tower of Blood?
Yep.
That's the one that gives us hatred and gives me frenzy and hatred.
Yep.
Within 6 inches. This is a mystery swamp.
And then back here is the Elven Waystone.
Yeah, the Elven Waystone gives all wizards within 6 inches +1 to channel. His Temple Guard, which you can't see right now, are sitting on a fence.
Yep.
And then this forest doesn't have anybody in it yet, so we don't know what it is.
Right. All right. While we're going, I'll just go ahead and go through my deployment. Just to let y'all know, I have decided to go to other lores than light, and right now I'm trying out beasts, which actually with my Slan is one of the lores that in this particular comp I actually get points back for. Even with that and a fairly bare bones, at least to me, Slan, it comped me 72 points, which is a nice little chunk of my points. And he is in a group of 20 Temple Guard. I would have put him into more, but I only have 20 at the moment. Next to him are actually 2 separate Scarvets on a cold one. The one without a rider has light armor and has a halberd, and the one next to him has hand weapon and shield and also light armor. As you can tell, the ever popular Charmander is, which is my salamander, is there. On either side of my Temple Guard are 2 units of 24 Source Warriors, both with full command and just having hand weapons and shields. And there's my other salamander off to the side. Over here is a group of 10 Skink Skirmishers with my level 2 Skink Priest, who rolled up and got Ice Star Blizzard, and we also got the Comet. And just to let you know, for my Slan, I do have Lore Master as my 1 discipline, so I got all of beasts. I put my 2 groups of chameleon skinks up here, kind of looking at some of the chariots and wolf riders over here. We'll see what happens there. And then over on the other side of my right set of Saurus Warriors, I've got an Ancient Stag, and I've got a group of 5 Coal 1 Cavalry, who I haven't painted yet, and I've just left the riders off because until I actually get them attached to them, they're just a pain to stay on. Really, as far as the comp, the salamanders are 10 points apiece, which isn't too bad until you start, but when you start getting more of them in a unit, they really start adding up. Other than that, it was really just the Slan that hit a bunch, and the Stag was actually, I think, like 17 points, which was higher than I don't know, I kind of thought he would be, but I think it's the same as your Ragnarok Spider.
Yeah, Boron's 17.
So I guess, with that, it's about the same, I guess. Anyway, that is our deployment. Give a little overview of what's going on here. And we will pick up at the end of Matt's turn 1, which he won the roll. So
That's right.
Yeah.
Forget you, FAQ. I still got the first turn.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is our first game where the recent FAQ that the scouts don't count towards deployment has been in effect.
Exactly, and I rolled the mighty 1 on my roll after we tied the first time. But anyway, we'll pick up at Orcs and Goblins turn 1, and I'm going to pray I'm still living. Alright folks, it's the end of the Orcs and Goblins turn 1 with Matt. Go ahead and let the folks know what the deal is.
I left everybody past Animosity, which was boss. These guys didn't move. I don't actually know what the range on the blowpipes are.
12.
Okay. But even if he marches up, he is going to be within 7 inches of me because I'm 19 out, which means they're at long range. This guy is not, but I think he's going to be out of the other one, but he needed to be facing this way, so I had to kind of make that concession. Everybody else just kind of hustled on up. Boron only moved. He did not in fact, March so that he could fire the web flinger that I totally paid 30 points for. And these guys moved out of range of the Haunted Mansion, up farther than I'd want, but I'll deal with it. In Magic, I got Gift of the Spider God off, and I totally forgot to do my lore attribute with this, but that's okay. And then I threw all my dice at the full-powered fireball. My other 6 dice at the full-powered fireball at the halberd guy. As you can see, he's still there, unscathed, unblackened, because Dallas got it dispelled. Shooting, I had really a pretty excellent shooting phase all over. The Doom Diver misfired, which was the only hitch, and actually kind of was a big deal. So I fired this guy first. The Flinger did 3 wounds to got a direct hit, did 3 wounds to the Saurus, and he saved all but 1, but they are always strike last. Woo.
Already.
Yeah.
So it don't matter.
Oh, I did D3 wounds too, but that mattered a lot. These guys are just within 18 inches, so they fired off with their poison bows and killed 3.
Yep.
So Dallas is kind of regretting letting that Gift of the Spider guy go off, because those guys were hosses. These guys needed 8s to hit the camo skinks and didn't roll any 6s, whatever. So I fired the Doom Diver first at the guy with the shield because I thought he might have the Charm Shield. Well, the Doom Diver misfired. So then I dropped a rock on his head. Direct hit.
Direct hit.
Wounded him. Dallas had the Charm Shield. So I'm
I
really
did.
kind of frustrated at the Doom Diver who could have got rid of that Charm Shield for me.
Fact.
And then the Rock Lava would have just
And it also hit the other 2...
yeah, the guys next to him, but it didn't do any damage. I couldn't move him on the Strength 3, so... It was kind of a long shot. I was just like, oh yeah, I also got a Strength 3 hit, what?
Never know.
Yeah. I mean, hey, the Goblins took out 3 Source Warriors.
That's right.
So, I don't know. I think it's a little too early to tell. I did surge forward mightily. Probably the only thing that's bugging me right now is the squigs being behind stuff, but my lines were so congested with the forests and the building and the impassable terrain that something was going to get bad. Oh, the thing I'm really proud of, these guys are out of 6 inches now, so if one of them dies, no panic test.
No panic.
I'm excited about that. And that's my turn, so I'm hoping that Dallas doesn't do too many naughty things to me next turn.
Oh, but Matt, you're the naughty one.
Yeah, probably.
All right, we'll pick up at the end of my turn 1. Alrighty, ladies and gents, that's the bottom of my turn 1. And as you can tell, I've moved my command skinks up, moved my skink skirmishers back behind the building, hiding, moved my skink priests back here. And I did that because I would have had to move him pretty far up into some craziness to get a low-powered Ice Sharp Lizard. So I felt that keeping him out of harm's way and back here would be better, and getting the bonus hopefully from the Elven Waystone. And so I felt like that was the best move for him. I kind of shuffled forward a little bit, moved here, moved there. And then we come to my Cold One Riders over here, who were trying to charge them and needed a 9, which is not necessarily a sure win sort of situation. But I rolled like 2 1s and a 2, so as you can tell, they didn't go anywhere. My other charge was my my Scarvet with the shield and hand weapon into his troll that was right there. Shooting, I'll go ahead and go into shooting. My Stegodon took 2 out of that, and they rolled like a 3 on their leadership, like hosses. My Salamander plinked off a few wounds from the group of orcs.
And it was a scary day, but we did pass our panic test.
Yeah, I think you rolled a 9, which is what you needed.
Yeah, which is right on the money.
My command skinks here plinked a wound off the chariot. And then my other command skinks plinked a wound off the wolf riders. More 6s in the shooting phases between both those, which is kind of interesting. During Magic, I cast Pan's Impenetrable Pelt on the Scarvet. Like I said, I'm kind of new to Beast, so I'm trying to figure out what spells to cast when. I also tried to cast Curse of Anra here on that unit, thinking I was going to hold there. I figured I would take out that troll and then hold and try to get some of them dead with the curse. And I rolled like a 9 on that and didn't cast it on. So it was not a fantastic magic phase. Combat, as you can tell, I completely destroyed the troll. And then I decided with the pelt, I felt like I could hold up that unit for at least a turn. And so I went ahead and did the overrun and overran into them. The one thing that does prevent me from doing is getting more shots with the salamander. So he's a little bit out of position, but I've kind of done really poorly with both their positions, I think. But we will see. The other salamander, which was over here, I swung it around to here because my options were either to go into the building here, which is the Tower of Blood, or move them up front to try to get shots maybe at those goblins, and then I would have gotten charged by the troll, which would have not been a great move. So, you know, I'm seeing what's going to happen, hoping to get them into a better position maybe next turn. But that was my turn. We will pick back up with the Orcs' turn 2. All right, Matt, it is your turn too. Things went a little crazy.
Yeah.
Tell the folks what's going on.
Well, this turn kind of frustrated me a little bit. I was more frustrated just with some easy dice rolls that failed. I didn't feel like I was actually asking a lot of anything and that I failed. But I mean, everything's still going well. Don't get the wrong impression. I'm not like losing and gonna flip a table or something. I was a little frustrated. So first off, I started by charging the Wolf Riders into the flank of the Salamander. I charged the Arachnarok into the Ancient Stag, which is a combat I am pleased with. I charged the Wounded Chariot into the Chameleons. Dallas decided that he couldn't flee them because they'd bounce through the skinks back there and they'd have to take that panic test, and Dallas was not real sure about it. They did manage to blow dart the chariot off, which panicked my BSB's Night Goblin unit, which actually, now that I think about it, they shouldn't have moved at all, because since he's in there, they don't care about panic because he's an orc. So me and Dallas may talk about that. I may move them. I may just auto rally them or something.
Yeah, we will discuss.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. I just looked at him and went, oh yeah, he keeps the unit from being scared of other goblins. Anyway, but the Squigs did make it in. They rolled like an 8. They needed a 6 or 7. They made it in and made short work.
Oh yeah.
Especially because they were frenzied in hatred because of that Tower of Blood, which I think is going to cause Dallas no end of problems now that they're facing down his lines, and that's not really fun. That's not fun time, excitement, pants. Over here, he shot that chariot down, what, 2 wounds? No, 1 wound, and then he did another one in combat. But the chariot did win and ran him down. The Wolf Riders over here ran over. And you can see the Arachnarok didn't make his 7 on a Swift Stride. I rolled like a 2, a 3, and a 1. So even added together, I couldn't do it. But I mean, in fairness, Dallas did the same thing with the cold ones on turn 1. But that was kind of frustrating. Again, I didn't think a 7 was asking too much. I didn't think a 9 rerollable on this unit was asking too much either. In Magic, I tried to put the Gift of the Spider God here. Since he had Pan's Impenetrable Pelt, and I have spears, I wanted to stab the junk out of him, and he stopped it. Then I tried to cast Gorkle Fix-It on his... No, not Gorkle Fix-It. The...
Sneaky Stabbers.
Itchy Nuisance on his
right.
Ancient Stag to lower its movement, and I failed to get an 8 with 3 dice plus a 4. So I rolled triple 1s, and I was kind of frustrated about that. Again, like I said, I didn't think that looking for a 4 was asking too much. Then I tried to cast... Oh no, you scrolled the poison.
Yes.
I failed the second spell, and then you dispelled the next 2 that I tried to cast.
Yeah, but you did get...
Oh no, you dispelled Sneaky Stabbing on this unit, which was
right.
Armor Piercing, but I did get Gorkle Fix-It off on the Salamander, which made it reroll 6s, which was pretty good. It did save me, I think, a little bit. It may have saved me a wound or something, but
yeah.
Regardless, it was something that I could do in the Magic phase. My guy with the hat didn't try anything. I didn't see it. I really wanted to get the Goblin spells off this round. So then in shooting, my rock lobber landed a rock directly on top of the Stegodon. Because again, remember, I'm trying to deal with that since I couldn't charge it. And so in my third attempt to deal with it this round, my rock lobber hit a direct hit, but also the misfire and exploded. So apparently I'm not going to kill the Stegodon this game.
You are
It's
right.
just going to run roughshod over my army, screaming, "Brother!"
Stegomania running wild.
So anyway, there's that. The Wolf Rider somehow managed to get out without taking a wound from the Salamander.
And I took a wound, and one of my handlers died.
Yeah, so the Wolf Riders did excellent. Dallas barely passed that Leadership 5 break test, which would have been pretty funny. And the over here I challenged with my champion since I couldn't stab him with my poison spears or armor piercing spears. I was like, whatever. I just went ahead and challenged with my champion to keep people alive. And he made quick work. He did 4 wounds. I had 3 ranks plus a banner and a musician, so we tied.
No, I lost by 1.
Yeah, and then because of the musician, you lost by 1. And so you made that break test, which was, again, iffy. And then of course, I killed all the skinks over here and overran. So probably the thing I'm happiest about this turn is the placement of the red troll up there, because he's blocking the Slan and the Temple Guard. And the reason I'm really excited about that is because the Slan, when he charges in or tries to scoot around, will not be within 12 inches of this guy, which means no Pan's Impenetrable Pelt, which means no Savage Beast of Horos, which means no, at least small-powered Weisson's Wild Form, which is something that is really good. So I have excitement for that. Otherwise, everything really is looking good, especially if I can come to some sort of agreement about this. I mean, they've got a 9 to rally, but since I failed 2 9s to flee them, and then an 11, they're just destined to get off the board. So we'll see what happens on Dallas's turn. I'm actually kind of thinking that Steg is going to fail the charge, since that's the flank of failed charges.
Yes, we will just keep inching towards each other.
Until eventually we just kind of...
We decide to kumbaya in the middle of the battlefield.
We'll just call it even, 290 for 230.
275.
275, yeah. We'll just take the models off and go trade.
All right, guys. Like I said, that's the end of his turn 2. It'll go to my turn 2. All right, guys. It's the bottom of turn 2 with the Lizardmen. Let's see. As far as charges, I charged the Steg into the Arachnarok Spider. I charged the Cold Ones into the Arachnarok Spider, and as you can tell, one made it, the other one did not. He needed a 8, I believe, and he rolled pretty crappy. He rolled like 5 or 6 total. So he's still stuck back there. I charged the Wolf Riders with my Saurus. I charged that Lone Troll with the Temple Guard. And that was it for my charges. I moved the source over here to so they're just going to take that charge all day long. I moved my this salamander back over to where he was pretty much originally, because things of course changed when I have all these guys, all the squigs coming in on me. So I'm moving him over. He took a shot during this and took out 4 of these squigs and 3 handlers, which was nice. Then I moved my group of skeet skirmishers over here, and they took out the chariot over here. During magic, I first tried to Curse of Anrahir them. I rolled just enough, and then he dispelled it. Then I tried to do Wild Form on my Scarvet. He Dispel Scrolled it, I do believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did the Ice Shard Blizzard, which went through. Combat over here with the Arachnarok Spider and the Stag, the Mighty Titan's Tussling. He did 4 wounds. I did, I believe, 2. Was it 2 or 3? I can't
It was 2.
2.
One
All
with
right.
the impact hit and then one with your regular attacks.
Excellent. All right, so I did 2 back. He did 4. We're holding up over here though. I took out the Wolf Riders and just repositioned myself. I, of course, completely decimated the troll. I revealed that I had the banner of flames on my Slan and the armor-piercing banner on the on my standard bearer in the temple guard, and I just overran a little bit forward. The other combat, which was here, he challenged with his general. He got one hit through. I was able to armor save it on the 3. Then I got 1 wound through on him.
Boo!
But of course, with all his ranks and everything, he won combat. But I was able to, since I had moved up with the overrun, I was within my general's leadership. So that was that. Really, I'm not as worried actually about the orcs as I am about these squigs, because these squigs are going to be a scary, scary thing.
Yeah, because of that Tower of Blood, they got
Yes.
frenzy and hatred. So
I'm kind of on my heels trying to figure out exactly what the heck I'm going to do to those guys. I've got a plan. I don't know if it's a good one. The curse was part of my plan to try to take some of them out when they charged, and as you can tell, that didn't work. But hey, I'm going to plan B. That was turn 2. My freaking Cold One Riders over here just hanging out, doing nothing. But anyway, that was turn 2. We're going on to Matt's turn 3. All right, Matt.
Yes.
It is the top of turn 3 with you.
Yep.
Things are there's lots of death going everywhere. So give us a rundown.
Well, I charged these skinks over here with my Wolf Riders, and they failed to get any 6s with their stand and shoot. And I thought, awesome, got 4 frenzied goblins on wolves with hatred. I was going to make short work of them. The squigs charged the unit of Saurus. Again, frenzy, hatred. That was going to be good.
Oh, it was.
These guys moved up. Remember, they were over here. Dallas said just put them back, and I missed a movement phase with them, which was very generous. So this turn I moved them up. My wizards got into range. This guy was trying to shoot the salamander with a fireball if I got enough dice. This guy got within 12 inches to cast sneaky stabbing, because when they overran, if they got a 5, they were going to hit this guy here. What happened to that guy? Well, I wasn't paying attention, and I shot my Doom Diver here, and he veered 10 inches off, and I thought, well, let me redirect into actually hitting something, which was a bad idea. You always have to think forward, because when Dallas removed the guy, then I missed him. My overrun path literally went like this.
Yep.
Luckily, I hit the other Scarvet, so at least I'll get some points. I scared off the Salamander, which is good.
Charmander!
Yeah, I did 22 wounds to the unit, and I rolled
Yeah.
actually not very well on the 2 wounds.
Yeah.
I failed. Well, no, I guess I lied to Dallas. I got 25 out of like 38 wounds or something, so it was pretty close to average. I was complaining a little bit, but it was pretty close. Over here, though, I was really frustrated. He killed me before I could even blink. He was like, "Whatever, I'll hit with 9 out of my 10 attacks. Whatever, I'll wound with 7 of them."
Hatred on some skinks.
There's actually 5, I think, wounds got through, and I saved none. I was like, "Come on, just give me 1 or 2. I'll win. I'll do some wounds this way." And he was like, "Nah, you're 5 up armor save. It don't mean jack." So I'm starting to think I'm going to put shields on those guys again. Over here, we fluffed on each other. Because of Gork will fix it, he didn't wound me. I'm going to blame it entirely on that spell. I fluffed my rolls. He kind of fluffed his a little bit. He passed the leadership 5 with the reroll. He didn't even need the reroll. He's like, screw the BSB.
Yep, and this is actually the first time that I've ran the solo Scarvet, and him at least, he's been rocking and rolling. This guy, probably not so much.
Yeah, probably not so much.
Although, if I can get the pelt on him, who knows? We'll see.
Over here, we did. I did like 3 more wounds or something, so I killed the Stegodon and reformed, pretty much like you see me. Still on 6 wounds, so actually he's doing pretty well so far.
He won the Clash of the Titans over here, the Clash of the
Yeah.
Monsters.
Yes, and that's pretty much it. I'm gonna try and deal with I've got 2 big blocks left to fight. I'm going to see if I can't put some pressure on him with my monster and my big blocks that are kind of running circles around. Other than that, I think I'll be okay if I can survive. This is the turn. I think this is the make or break turn. I think for me.
Excellent.
To survive.
All right, we'll pick up in just a second with my turn 3. All right, folks, it was the end of my turn 3. Yeah, end of my turn 3. Things are starting to look a little shaky for the Lizardmen. Let's see. As you can tell, my cold ones finally actually made a charge.
Yeah!
They charged into the Ragnarok Spider. I got 2 wounds, I think? 1 wound, and you got a wound.
Yeah.
So we tied on that, and I won on the charge, but he made his leadership.
Thankfully.
Over here, my Scarvet's still holding.
Hate that guy.
He's been a hoss. I'm loving that Scarvet. My typical guard, my Saurus kind of shimmied up. I moved my Salamander, which was blocking my Saurus, over here to get a shot at those goblins. I got only rolled a 2 on my artillery dice, and I killed 3. And of course, they made their leadership this time. Moved my awesome skinks, my hatreded skinks over here, guys. And they're hanging out. The other combat that was over here, which was the Squigs versus my other Scarvet, my plan was I was keeping them in the middle with my my Slan, and I was going to Impenetrable Pelt and try to hold up and hope also, you know, to get maybe some wild form and other stuff, maybe just to go nuts on it. Just something to try to stay alive for a turn. And it didn't happen. I rolled like a 16, something like that. On my, I threw 5 dice at it, didn't get very well. He then dispelled it, and this Scarvet over here died horribly. So he's reformed, and of course he's about to get all up in my Temple Guard, which is going to be a very sad, sad day.
And I will be glad that I took sneaky stabbing on that day.
Well, the sneaky stabbing will be gone.
Yes, but I can cast it again.
No, you can't.
Yes, I will power it through all 6 dice at sneaky stabbing.
Yeah, so my plan had been, just to let y'all know, and you can, you know, mock me for it as much as you want. When they charged the Saurus, I was pretty sure they was going to get wiped out and overrun. My hope was when they overran and not into the Scarvet that I was going to be able to use my Salamanders, which this one ran and kind of messed that plan up. But anyway, to start whittling those guys around and maybe get them away from the tower. That was my goal, and that didn't work. So it was a
good plan, though.
Well, maybe if it would have worked. But anyway, as you can tell, I'm being surrounded, and gotta, you know, circle the wagons, as you were. So, and you know, if you're Oregon Trail, I'm probably going to die of dysentery. So hey, it's the top of 4 with the Orcs. They're going to probably do their worst, so we'll see in a minute. All right, if you can tell the defeat in my voice, it's because things are looking bleak for the Lizardmen. Yep. Matt, your turn 4. Tell us how the bloodbath.
Well, I only made 1 mistake, and I don't really think it was a mistake, but I'll get to it. So I charged the flank of the Scarvet, the impenetrable Scarvet, because if he didn't do a wound to me, that meant I was on 3 ranks, a standard, the BSB, and a charge. So he was -6. So as long as he didn't do a wound to me, he was on snakes. Which, I also got the Squigs into the rear of the Temple Guard, and I moved this guy up within 12 inches so that I could sneaky stabbing, because apparently playing Dark Elves has taught me that it's really skillful to throw all your dice at a single spell. In Magic, I fireballed off. I rolled like 10 dice, and I fireballed off the Salamander. Dallas had to let it go because he was fearing the sneaky stabbing. I rolled up 25, I think, and he got a 21 to try and dispel. So it went through. which pretty much spelled the doom of the Temple Guard. In shooting, I shot off 2 skinks. I was kind of hoping to shoot 3 off and at least force a panic test, but it didn't happen. I should be noted that this guy was not out in the middle of nowhere facing some shots. He was actually right up on the butt here, but that was the mistake that I said I made. I resolved the Arachnox combat first because it didn't matter. And he rolled like a hoss and killed all the cold ones before they got to go. Dallas rolled really crappy for their saves and couldn't save. He saved like 1 out of 5 wounds or something.
Yeah, not enough.
On a 4-up. I mean, it was ridiculous. The Squigs came in and they did 20 wounds? No, they did 16 wounds. 16 wounds. Which left the champion and the standard bearer left, who attacked and killed 4. And then my Night Goblin handlers attacked because my Squigs were in horde formation, and they got 2 hits with the reroll out of whatever 8 of them. And then those 2 hits both converted into wounds, and Dallas failed his 2 5-up saves. And so I killed the rest of the unit with Night Goblins, which meant the Slan was on double 1s. And he failed, and so now we see what we see here.
Yep, as you can tell, they're way over there off the board. This... Twigs are now looking dead at my Saurus.
Yep. And over here, it went as planned. I netted him. He didn't do a wound to me. I finally did a wound to him. And because I'm only moderately angry about that. And his guy got away. And this is my mistake. I chased with the Night Goblins. And I should have left him here to get the 4-up. Look out, sir. Dallas says he thinks it's still the smart play. Because even losing the 200 points here for this guy, I still am up a monkey ton right now. He's got Skink Skirmishers, a Salamander, and 1 block of Saurus that probably won't make it the next 2 turns.
And my Skink Priest, who's still over here by himself.
I forgot that my wolves died, and who were supposed to kill those skinks and then redirect over there. That was their job, but they failed miserably. So everything's really looking put up. Packed away right now. Probably my biggest issue right now is just the bowman, Night Goblin bowman back here. I had to put him back here to bunker in the first couple turns. Once I had the chameleon skinks and the salamanders and stuff, once I knew where they were at, I could bail out. Obviously, I should have not bailed him out quite so far. So now they're just stuck behind this impassable terrain and the Orc Big Uns that haven't been able to move. Thank you, Scarvet. So they're just kind of hanging out and doing their thing. But yeah, it's looking pretty good.
All right, we'll pick up at my turn 4. Who knows? I'll probably do absolutely nothing.
The mighty comeback turn.
Yeah, we'll pick up in just a second. All right, gents, and ladies, I'll make it really quick. I moved up, took a shot at those guys, and this is my bottom of turn 4. Shot at the Great Shaman. I plinked 2 wounds. Of course, he's still living on 1. Then my Salamander here moved up. Took shots at the Squigs. I killed, I think, 4 handlers.
No, 2 handlers.
2 handlers. 2 handlers and 2 Squigs. I hit like 8 Squigs and 4 handlers, so you can tell that wasn't too great. I did charge the Saurus into the spider, thinking if I could get enough wounds or possibly make it break and run. And also just to, keep things going. And I had Ice Shard Blizzard during my turn on my magic. I threw 6 dice at it and got it through. He did 2 wounds, I did 2 wounds. So he was on leadership 8 from his general and he made it. I rallied my Scarvet, and it looks like he'll probably be taking a charge from his good old pals, the Orcs. So we may see this combat renewed. So yeah, that's what's going on. It's going to turn 5. Pretty much just picking everything up, and we'll just go into turn 5 with Matt. All right, Mr. Matt.
Yes.
It was the end of your turn 5, and we're calling it after that because not really any point in going on.
Yeah.
So go ahead and tell us your turn 5, and we'll do some ending remarks.
Okay. Well, I had 2 charges on turn 5. I charged the Squigs into the rear of the Saurus. That didn't work. I needed a 9 and I rolled an 8, so it was pretty ridiculously close. I charged the Scarvet with this unit here, which would of course give me the flank of the Saurus if I beat him and I rolled like a 4 or 5 with the overrun. These guys rallied just barely. I rolled a 10. They were within range of the general at the start of the turn, or when they tested, which gave them a 9 plus the musician, so exactly a 10, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Saved me some points.
And you also put your wizard
I put my shaman in there, which was excellent. In magic, the shaman tried really hard to cast some stuff. He cast sneaky stabbing on this unit. Dallas dispelled it with all his dice. I cast Gift of the Spider God on the spider, and I failed with the mushroom dice. So I rolled the 1, and remember he only had 1 wound left, so if I rolled a 1, 2, or 3, he was going to die. And I rolled a 5, so he was fine. And
then you fireballed.
Then I fireballed. I had a bunch of dice. I big fireballed the salamander back there. Dallas had to let it through because he'd already cast everything, and I got 2 wounds on the salamander and 2 wounds on the skinks. I didn't roll super well. Dallas did pretty good on the saves, so the salamander yet lives. With the miscast, though, I rolled a 9, which is he and every model on the same side that can channel take a strength 6 hit. And ironically enough, I rolled a 1 for him, and I wounded the shaman that only had 1 wound left. So if I had rolled those backwards, I would have saved 200 points, but there's no way to know that. So he, in his mighty anger from his wizard hat and his giant Hadouken across the battlefield into the salamander, killed his friend over here. I guess friend is probably a strong word. Otherwise, everything went pretty much as you'd expect. Oh, and the other thing I did was I indirect fired the Doom Diver, which only veered 2 inches, so with its own recorrect, it was easily able to hit Dallas's Skink Priest back in the back. I maybe should have done that earlier, but I was trying to take out Scarvets and Skink Skirmishers from shooting my level 4 and stuff like that. So I think I had the priorities right. But so when I had nothing better between him and the salamander, I decided to go for him, and I was going to get the salamander next. Of course, Dallas needed a 4-up to keep his Scarvet alive, and really I should have wogged on that charge. A, because I knew it was the only charge I was going to get, but B, because it would have helped me even if I hadn't killed your guy, it would have given me more combat rails.
Right.
And that was just a bad play on my part. So of course I killed him luckily with my general, who only wounded 1 time, and again another 4-up for Dallas to live, and he didn't pass it, and I got into the flank, and he didn't do any wounds to the spider, and I did a monkey ton to him, and he broke, and the spider ran him down. We just left the unit there because I think Dallas wants to pretend that he still has a unit. And we decided to call it because pretty much what's going to happen is he's going to get the Doom Diver, and my fire wizard is just going to throw chuck dice at fireball until I get on turn 6 and try to get that salamander. And so Dallas is going to have a unit of skinks.
Woohoo!
If he kills the Doom Diver, if not, then we'll alternate it, and I'll chuck the dice here and Doom Diver the salamander. And anyway, regardless, he'll have 1 thing left or none, and I have the only thing he's going to gain from it is the.
So it's not really worth
yeah,
it. It's not worth
the
it.
Extra time. I guess you could maybe get this unit with the salamander if you marched all the way up and breathed on them. You may be able to get them with the panic. But the way they're arrayed now, they could actually fit back here.
Yeah, and it's still not enough points to really make any difference.
Yeah. So Dallas got quick tally, got both trolls is 70, plus 110 from the Wolf Riders. So 180 plus 100 from the, what are they called? The Chariots is 280. And I really think that's it. Dallas got, and 200 from the Shaman. So Dallas got 480.
And the Rock Lobber.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, the Rock Lobber did give you points. So 480 plus 85 is 565. So you got 565, and I think the Slans unit was...
Yeah, it was like almost 800 by itself. So
Yeah, well, plus the general, plus his
Yeah.
standard, plus their standard. Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous.
yeah, it was a bloodbath. It was not a good day to be a lizard man.
Yeah. Dallas, you want to do closing thoughts first, or you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, I will. Going into this, I knew with my list, with the comp, there was no way that I was going to be able to go with the ethereal Slan and put him by himself and have anywhere near what our comp was. We was kind of looking between like 8 and 13, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So mine was an 8.6, like I think I had said earlier. If not, I did now. So the only way that I could really use a Slan in a Lizardman list and get within that comp was pretty much to put them in Temple Guard. I know some people say about putting them in some Saurus, but then they're up front, and then I'm kind of frightened of that. But so, with the Temple Guard, like I said, I only had 20 of them, and I knew that they were going to be kind of squishy if they got into a really nasty combat, and the Squigs were that really nasty combat. I really, if I was going to really do this list right, what I would have done is probably take out my Steg to add some more Cold One Calves, although they weren't doing great, but I think it was also just because there was 5 of them, and add some more Temple Guard to, rearrange to get about 30 at least in there, or take out the Cold One Calf and add more Temple Guard that way. One way or the other, I need more Temple Guard. Really, I was fairly impressed with the Scarvets, even though one didn't do a whole lot. The other one really held up well. I think I may, again, the comp with the Crown of Command really throws a monkey wrench in it. So I couldn't really get that in there and really have a stubborn Scarvet just hanging out saying, "Hi guys, let's just hang out here by all day long."
Yeah.
So, but
that is what got you in the end, just that he broke.
Yeah. But, I was impressed with it. I think, it's a little bit of tweaking with that will do better. And I had some bad unit placement early on, really, that kind of hurt me. Other than that, I need to learn with beasts. The range on their spells isn't, is that 12-inch kind of messed me up early on and put me in a really bind with trying to spell priority in the right locations. Probably my MVPs really is that Scarvet. He rocked. Other than that, my Skinks did pretty good on the flanks against the Wolf Riders and the Chariots. So I was impressed with those guys. My least valuable player. Probably my Saurus, because they really didn't do much of jack. They died to the Squigs, and then they ran over there and kind of just were being slaughtered. Which part of it was my fault. I figured with them in here I would need to get wild form to really get them going good, and I never really was in a good spot to do that. So those are my thoughts. I think again, I like the Scarvets. I just need to learn how to use them a little bit better and buy more Temple Guard. All right, Matt, how about you?
Well, honestly, like I said, I was comp 11.1, and I don't feel it. That game. I don't know if it was because you had some bad rolling, and it wasn't because I had super stupendous rolling. But I don't know if it was because you had bad rolling, or because of the magic went the way it did, or because you were learning a new list or whatever. But I didn't feel really handicapped, except for the big uns, and that wasn't their fault. That was the fault of that one was kind of me bad rolling, not being able to kill the Scarvet, and you're good rolling like whatever. I'm just going to stick around on a 5. I don't care. What I don't care about you. But other than that, no, I didn't feel really hindered by the comp making the list at all. I told Dallas a couple things before. It does comp War Machines pretty hard, so I only had the 2, but that's fine because they didn't do a whole lot this game. Probably the best thing they did was the Doom Diver taking the Skink Chief, excuse me, the Skink Priest out in the last tournament we played. Of course, the Flinger upgrade on the Spider was worthless, and I won't spend 30 points that way again. I'll take the comp hit and go down to 11 instead of 11.1 and add 10 more goblins to this unit or something before I make the Flinger again. Really, probably my MVP, and it's hard to. I say probably my MVP was the Tower of Blood. The Tower of Blood gave my Squigs Hatred and Frenzy, which was impossible for Dallas to deal with.
Yeah.
I mean, I hit the side of, and really honestly, if it's not the terrain piece, if it's one of my models, it's a toss up between the Squigs and the Shaman, because the Squigs did excellent, but when they hit the back of the Temple Guard with sneaky stabbing on, it was all over. I mean, they did 16 wounds or 18 wounds all told, which was exactly everybody they had, and I rolled really well, and Dallas didn't save anything. I guess they couldn't even parry, so it was just, I mean, he couldn't save the 2 that he needed, and it was definitely the Squigs, but like I said, part of that was the Tower of Blood allowed them to just eat a block of Saurus in a turn, and eat a Scarvet in a turn, and then turn around and come back and eat the... and then they were in position because of the Tower of Blood to eat the whatever, the swords.
Temple Guard.
The Temple Guard, yeah. The big source, the big nasty source. Probably my least valuable player. I'm going to have to say, I'd want to say the Wolf Riders and Chariots, but they dealt with the Chameleon Skinks fine, which is what I really wanted them to do. I didn't want the Chameleon Skinks killing my characters that were running around crazily or my war machines, so they did that well. Probably my least valuable player was this block right here, and it's not their fault. Again, that was the block that got held up by the Scarvet, and I understand why people in Europe hate Scarvets, and it makes me want to run a solo Black Orc or on a boar, or solo Exalted Champions of Chaos on Demonic Steeds, stuff like that, just to do the same thing. So that block really was probably my least valuable. The only thing it did was at the end come in and start slaughtering those Saurus, but I don't think that Saurus unit was long for this world anyway.
No.
I mean, the Squigs were closing in, the Spider was doing bad things to them. Yeah, I think that's probably it. As far as, I don't know. I'm not sure I would have played this game much differently. I think I played this game about as good as I could. About the biggest thing I did wrong was not get the charge into the flank of the Temple Guard earlier when I killed him with the Doom Diver.
That was just
which was really funny.
Yeah.
When Dallas started laughing and looked at it, it was a big face palm moment. But I think other than that, I think I played a pretty good game.
It kind of fit the Goblins well to... It's like, all right, we took them out, and then, it screwed us.
It totally screwed that plan up. No, you know what? Least valuable player was this bunker. Never needed it. Stuck behind impassable terrain the entire game. They were going to shoot these guys, and I even forgot that with the hard cover and the long range and the movement. They were on like 9s. I was still going to try it. Yeah. So anyway, it was fun. I thought the Arachnarok was a real hoss.
Oh yeah, it was eating up everything over there.
Again, I don't think it's supposed to go out. I think that it's a decent monster killer, as long as that monster is not the Hydra or the Hell Pit Abomination. But really, what kills those anyway? It did fine versus the infantry as long as the block was small enough. I mean, that is what started doing wounds to it, was the Saurus, just because of volume of attack. But ultimately, I thought it was a good 290 points. Dallas and I joked about me putting a second one in, but I don't want to spend the money on another model. Yeah, I think that I might stick with this list for a while, especially even if we play some uncomp stuff. Like I said, I don't really feel like I'm missing out on a lot. Plus, I have all the models painted except for the Spider, and he's mostly painted. I have to paint the Howdah and finish him up, ink him and stuff. rambling. Don't really have anything to say.
All right, dude. Well, we didn't do this, so I'll put up my hand.
Oh.
Shake.
Good game, sir.
Yeah.
You did well. I mean, with what your luck allowed you.
All right, guys. Again, this was, of course, Bromance WarGaming. Appreciate y'all watching and listening. And you know what? Hey, you can mock me and such. If you noticed anything else, just let me know. Because, like I said, I'm learning beast. If any of you guys got any comments, let me know. Peace out, folks.
I just wanted to say, if you guys have any ideas about way to do comp differently or different ways that Dallas could comp his list, maybe, because he had some issues with his. So maybe if you guys can post up some comments and help us out with the Swedish comp system, maybe we'll link it. I don't know. Maybe Dallas will do that for us.
Yeah, we could do that. And actually, I was thinking, and I don't know, throwing this out here as we're going pretty late on this when video was actually putting our lists like either at the beginning of the videos or like in the comments.
Yeah.
Just so that people can see it for everything it was.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Y'all, everyone have a good night, good morning, whenever you are watching this, and peace out.